Welcome, this is Nathan, welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at a scenario where Vietnam forms an empire. One of the other countries I'm very surprised I haven't done yet. Just ignore this, I might never do them. I've yet to do China, but honestly I can't, I could care least. I don't know, I've done every single country, I've done a lot of big countries, and I'm just kind of grinding down the last couple of ones I know that will be popular enough. But today Vietnam will be growing itself. That sounds weird. Today Vietnam will be expanding itself into its neighbours. And it's actually referred to as the Chile of Asia. You know how like Croatia is seen as the Chile of Europe because they cut off Bosnia? Well, Vietnam is classed as that because they cut off Cambodia and Laos. I was actually going to do Bangladesh, but I decided to not do that because I thought Bangladesh wouldn't really be popular enough. But anyway, let's get straight into it. So, Vietnam's first target, which probably won't be a shocker, is going to be poor old Laos. Laos is, a country that hasn't really done much for our history. May have had some things dropped in the Vietnamese War, but I don't really know. The Vietnamese troops will immediately push in and snap the country in half, like a twig. And they're going to push down for Vientiane. I think that's the capital of it. The name, pronouncing it, I know what the capital is. But they're going to push down towards it, and because Laos has no army, or they do, but they're really weak. They lose almost immediately. And Laos is going to fall really quick. So anyway, let's take a look at this peace treaty. From the peace treaty, Vietnam will fully annex Laos. And when I move this site down to Cambodia. Cambodia is another country that's extremely weak. Also, I just realised that this is the exact same colour as the background. Oof, that's annoying. But the main goal is going to be capturing Phnom Penh and also cutting off Cambodia from the coast. And because, Vietnam is going to be buffed here, they're going to be able to do this relatively easily. I'm getting these two out of the way because I feel like this is what Vietnam would do if they formed an empire. So, after losing Phnom Penh and the coast, Cambodia will surrender. So anyway, now with Cambodia and Laos annexed, Vietnam is given a pretty rough challenge. They don't border anyone weak. They border Thailand, Myanmar, China, go after that if you want to lose. Naval-wise, they have the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Taiwan. They're all very strong countries. So Vietnam doesn't exactly know what to do. Myanmar's not particularly strong, and in a real scenario, they might actually go after Myanmar. But, because I don't want to make horrible border war, Vietnam's next target will be Thailand. Thailand is a powerful country. It is not as strong as Vietnam, but its army's definitely up there. So this will definitely be a challenge, but why not for the Vietnamese? So troops that were just recently in Cambodia will now exit out and go towards Bangkok, where they face their first challenge. There's a bulk of Thai troops there. So we have a little incursion happening from the north, which is just invading jungle. And this goes well, kind of. Eventually, this will have to be called back, because it's just made nothing. But we actually have them doing some beforehand, doing an encirclement of around a couple thousand troops over here. There's not many, but there's obviously some defending. So, they all die. And it may look like Thailand's falling, but their most popular stuff is Bangkok and obviously that stuff. After a few months of fighting, the brutal battle of Bangkok is won, and Vietnam is successful in taking the city. And from there, Thailand's army begins falling back, and Thailand will surrender to Vietnam. Let's take a look at this peace treaty. Now, in a bit of a risky move, Vietnam will fully annex Thailand. And this is going to be very, very tough for Vietnam to assimilate. But now we have Vietnam heading over to Myanmar and saying, accept this ultimatum or you die. Myanmar's having conflict within itself. So they will accept it, but it's going to come at a cost, as the cost is the entire southern coast. And yes, this would damage Myanmar a lot. But Vietnam, that's text. Vietnam didn't exactly want to invade them. They didn't want to annex the entire thing because they knew they were going to be fully annexing Thailand, which would hurt a lot. So, in the end, the peace treaty will look something like this. Not peace treaty. The ultimatum will look something like this, and let's just say in the end of it, Myanmar definitely is going to be hurt from this. It may lead to their country collapsing, so they may end up uniting with India. Well, actually, no, they'll definitely end up uniting with China. So, where does Vietnam go from here? They've got themselves some pretty good land. But they still want more. Obviously, empires want more. That's what they're like. They want to head down to Malaysia and invade Malaysia. So, the main area where the main Malay or Malaysian, whatever. The area where the main Malaysian troops are going to be is this peninsula. And immediately, only one country will speak up to this. Indonesia. Indonesia will come in and say, whoa, no, you better stop that. And Vietnam will be like, try and stop me. Indonesia kind of is the Garda and kind of controls everything going on in Southeast Asia. And they definitely don't like the expansion of Vietnam in their area, but they definitely do not like this. Eventually, the capturing of Kuala Lumpur happens, and the main peninsula area of Malaysia falls. But what we see happening is Indonesian troops quickly moving up into this part of Malaysia and taking it over. Now, I don't want to colour that in, but just remember, this is under control of Indonesian troops. So what we have happening is, what we have happening here is a stalemate between these two. If Vietnam was to invade over here, they'd be killing Indonesian troops, which would activate Indonesia. But if Vietnam doesn't, they're only going to get this, which they're fine with that. They're not ready to find Indonesia. And just like, oh, actually, hang on. Sorry, I forgot about this. Oh, well, there you go. And just like that, Vietnam is now even stuck where they were. China's too strong, Indonesia's too strong. They have a peace treaty with Myanmar. Don't want to mess with India, you don't want to mess with the Philippines. So where do they go? Well, Vietnam decides to gang up on China with some countries. These countries might be very obvious because they actually have pretty good relations with Vietnam in real life. But these countries are going to be India. For God's sake, how am I clicking that? India, South Korea, and good old Japan. So all these together is definitely enough to bring down China. So they all declare war on China. They all declare war on China to take down China. North Korea will quickly join this war, and, somebody who does not just join this war, which is surprising, is Pakistan. They put two and two together and realised this would be a lose in the war, and even though China's begging for them to join, this is number 4 and number 5, probably, these are all top 10 powers. Taiwan will not join this war, they will stay out of it, but they technically are in it. But, let the Chinese gangbang begin. Vietnamese troops will absolutely steamroll through China with no problem, as China is not firing back. North Korea will fall, and troops will simply just invade into Manchuria. And at this point, it's getting very strange where Chinese troops are as they get closer and closer to Beijing. Until it's figured out that China is hogging all their troops in a certain area, which protects their most major cities, Beijing and Xinjiang, which means everything else could easily be taken. Now, this is a dumb idea, but they think that it's gonna work. Indian troops were annexed out, seeing no resistance at all, because China's holding all its troops. And, well, it gets to the point where it ends up, after a couple of months, nearly a year fighting, it kind of looks like this. And China's just like, and they can't push in, because China's troops are now expanded out. But, it's kind of impossible to invade anything of China now, because all the troops are out. So, sure, there is progress made over, like, a span of months, but this is slim to nothing, because this is probably just Chinese troops exiting out. Surprisingly enough, the Vietnamese Navy will actually make a landing and capture Hayden. From there, they actually make a surprise attack, and will quickly take the coast here, but that's about the final thing they could do, as Vietnam's now exhausted of all their resources. India's not, China's not, South Korea is, and Japan is. So it's basically just India versus China at this point, and it's going to be the end of a peace treaty. So let's take a look at the peace treaty. So anyway, taking a look at the peace treaty, as we can see, Vietnam annexes a little bit south of China, North Korea's annexing South Korea, and India will sell their claims to China. Same crap, I don't really need to explain it. Now anyway, Vietnam's final act with that. Yeah, I don't really need to show it, because it would end in just Vietnam winning. And anyway, just like that, Vietnam has finished its empire, and they're looking pretty good right now. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. I know it's really short, and I don't know what to record anymore, really. I'm enjoying the Wildcats videos, they're very fun, but these is just me drawing lines on a map. So I don't know, maybe I'll change over to gaming, we'll see. But anyway, that's going to be it for What If Vietnam Formed Empire, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.